Paralysis by Jenkins. Characters: Chris, 17 years old, senior in high school. Apollo, 18 years old, senior in high school. Popular jock of all the school. The cousin turned adopted brother of Chris. Cassandra, 17-year-old, girlfriend of Chris. Place: Brooklyn Potential Unleashed High School. Time: afternoon, fall. Scene 1. A messy boy's bedroom filled with socks and clothes and notebooks, particularly a red one. 2 beds are adjacent to each other, and a stack of notebooks sit beside the bed closet to the audience. A bright red book sits atop. Apollo wakes up from his bed and slips on some shoes. Chris remains asleep. Apollo tampers with Chris's alarm clock. He trips over the pile of books as he exits and picks up the red one. He skims through some pages. Scene 2. Classroom halls. Chris enters, looking tired as hell. Cassie enters, attacks Chris with hugs and kisses.
Chrissy!
I missed you too, babe.
Where the hell have you been?
What? What do you mean? I was here the whole time.
Half asleep again? This is the 7th time I had to cover for your ass in Mr. Pena's class. Chris, the school year just started, babe. What's going on?
I just got a lot going on right now. I got school, I got work, I got my writing, just trying to get things together.
And that's amazing. Truly. But you gotta put your health first.
I am.
If you say so. I love you, Chris.
I love you too.
Apollo enters.
September 18th, today and just like every day, will be perfect. Apollo won't be an asshole.
Chris, as if possessed, dashes to Apollo. Cassie struggles to keep up.
Babe, wait! Chris!
Give it back, Apollo!
Apollo holds the book high so that Chris can't reach.
Cassie will be the adoring girlfriend I need her to be.
What?
Just shut up, man! Just give it back!
And I won't forget I was ever assaulted. Everything written will be sealed with the fate from my pencil.
Chris rips it out of his hand violently and slashes the pages of the notebook. Apollo and Cassie are now frozen in time. Chris takes the notebooks and exits. After some time, Cassie becomes unfrozen and follows Chris. Scene 3. An empty classroom. A blackboard next to them says, "Fate isn't set in stone." Chris slams through the door, throwing down his backpack onto the floor and sits.
What did I just do? You fucked up with the space-time continuum. Why did he do that? Apollo's curious ass. I was touching my shit. You know this was gonna happen eventually. How long were we expected to play God?
Chris opens the notebook.
Look at this mess.
Cassie enters.
Christopher?
Oh, Cassie, shouldn't you be in your class?
Shouldn't you? Look around, babe. Notice how no one is here? No one is moving? You better start talking, babe. I don't know what dark fantasy shit you did, but this time has stopped. And I'm trying not to freak out, but...
How are you moving?
I don't know. But look, Christopher, you have to tell me what's going on. You come to school late, you always look tired, you're always too busy writing to even hang out with me, and you won't even kiss me. What's going on, babe?
I can't tell you.
Oh, you're going to tell me. We have all the time in the world. Just tell me what's going on.
You never loved me the same.
What are you blabbering about? Just tell me.
I was writing the story of my life. I wanted to forget that my deceased uncle ever assaulted me, and it worked. It worked for a while. I figured, what else could I do if I could just erase that painful fucking memory from my mind? So you know what I did? I started to toy with life. I could control when my mom would allow me to stay home, or write my dad to tell him just to acknowledge me more. I wrote Apollo to be less of a fucking prick. I have to keep writing forward every day, or else the illusion collapses. I have to write it so it makes sense, but I'm exhausted. It gets hard trying to write a meticulous story that makes sense. It's hard to write a lie.
You don't mean...
Yes, I wrote our love story.
You're not even lying about this, are you? How are you just saying this with a straight face?
You wanted me to come clean. This is it.
Was any of this real? How long have you been lying to me, to yourself?
About a month. For our relationship, I've been trying to rewrite everything else for about a year.
Why, Chris? Why would you play with our love like that?
I don't know.
God damn it, Chris. I love you, but you don't get the girl at the end. This ain't gonna be the part where I kiss you and we hug it out and it's all kumbaya.
So, what part of the story is this now?
The part where you stop pretending to be God.
Chris picks up the notebook and throws it in the trash.
Let's start over, Chris.
Yeah, let's do that.
Scene 4, schoolyard entrance. There are a couple of basketballs and homework scattered around the stage. Chris and Cassie enter. Apollo enters and cuts them off, blocking their way.
Oh, so now you're a time traveler too? Think you can just leave me in the dust after fucking with my life?
Look, man, I'm sorry I did it because...
Yeah, I know why you did it. I read the fucking book, Chris, and I still don't believe any of it.
Then you know that Chris was troubled. You should know more than anyone how hard it was for him. He was just trying to do what he thought was right, and yeah, he was wrong. Real fucking wrong.
How could you still be with him knowing that he played matchmaker with your life?
Who said I'm still with him? I stick around because I love him as my friend.
Look, could we talk about this when we get home? Get a little uncomfy doing this in front of all these people.
Oh, nah. I think they would all love to hear this. Hey, everyone. Meet Christopher Lawrence, the great megalomaniac who has a fucking god complex.
Apollo, let him go.
Or what? You couldn't even let your boyfriend go. What are you gonna do to me?
Chris shoves Apollo and pins him to the wall.
Don't you dare do anything to her, okay? Look, I know I'm wrong. You're acting like I ruined your life. You will always love the cream of the fucking crop. Since mom and dad adopted your ass, they gave you the prince treatment while I was left to the sidelines. All I wanted was for you to just treat me like a fucking human. So, what did I write that ruined your life?
Apollo grabs Chris by the neck and begins to choke him.
Truth is, Chris, I'm just scared of you. Scared of all this notebook shit.
Apollo, let him go. Get off of him.
You can't just write me away, can't you? You already did that. You wiped my father from my mind, but those few years of memories are all I have of him. And all this time, I didn't even know I was playing a part in some fake story you wanted to create.
Pop, please, let go, man.
Apollo throws Chris down to the floor. Chris,
Fine.
wounding his head, and bleeds out. Cassie rushes to check on a now deceased Chris.
Christopher? Chris?
Well, write yourself out of that one. I'm out.
Apollo flees. Cassie sobs and cries over Chris.
Chris! Hold on.
Cassie has a realization. She exits. Scene 5. Back to the empty classroom. Cassie storms through the door and scrambles through the trash can.
It's still here.
Cassie analyzes the notebook.
I can't believe I'm doing this again.
Cassie begins writing in the notebook.
This cycle of death has to end. Let a new beginning for Chris and Cassandra begin, no matter what.
Scene 6. A school courtyard. Chris sleepily enters the door. Cassie enters from the opposite side.
Oh, hey, Cassandra. How have you been? You act like you've seen a ghost.
Maybe I have. I just want to stay here. I don't care if we're late. Let's meet here during lunch.
Okay, sounds cool.
Chris exits. Cassie, sitting atop of a table, writes something in the notebook, but suddenly stops. Cassie takes a lighter from her bag, lights the pages on fire, then chucks them into the trash.
No one deserves this power.
End of play.